Good afternoon, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, man, this don't work without you guys. So let's get open for business here, and let's wake up the football gods. Wake up, guys. Wake up. Man, me and the missus, we went for a 5.5 mile walk this morning. I'm feeling good. Got me a nice cold shower to cool myself down. Got my exercise on and feeling really, really good. The weather's not quite so hot today. In fact, it's not so humid. It actually looks really nice outside. And when I get finished this video, I'm gonna go do some things outside and keep this whole thing going. As we sit here, only 50 days away from the Cowboys kicking off against the Rams. I don't know about you, but I'm excited as can be. But we need to take care of some business because as much as we love football, we got to understand it's a business here. And we're trying to run a business. And now, because of the coronavirus, I mean, it's crazy to think that normally I'd probably be out in Oxnard right now watching the Cowboys having training camp. But, things are changed this year. But it is what it is. And because of the coronavirus, the NFL and the NFLPA have worked out a deal that the salary cap's going to stay where it is for this year. And next year, they put a floor on there where it could go down $23 million. Basically, the floor is $175 million. Now, the question you have to ask is, how are we going to be next year? Now, let's go through, and I know a lot of people don't want to deal with the numbers of the game. You just want to watch the game. I get that. But see, you got to understand how managing your money is key in football. Because you look at teams like the Rams right now who literally have had to kind of gut the roster because they made a whole lot of moves to get good and get players there. And, it's kind of like that payday loan. You got the cash right now. You living large right now. You making it rain. But at some point, you got to pay that bills or they're going to come take your car away. And that's where the Rams were. The Rams, well, they took their car away. And so now they've got to kind of get back to even and start to rebuild. And now we're looking at the Cowboys who have gone through and we took care of Zeke. We took Amari Cooper. We took care of D-Law. We should have taken care of our quarterback, but we didn't. So the question is, if worst case scenario happens and we drop to $175 million in the salary cap next year, how are the Cowboys or what will the Cowboys do? Well, the good news is the Cowboys, surprisingly enough, right now have $9.3 million. If they don't spend that money on, say, Jamal Adams, they can roll that money into next year, which gives them some relief. Also, too, what we have currently on the roster may not be the final hit. For example, we have 2 kickers on the roster that are close to $1 million each. One of those guys isn't going to make the team, in which case you'll get a refund on the cap for that money. And there's other players that you may look at. I don't keep bringing his name up because I like Crawdaddy, Tyrone Crawford a lot. But when you start thinking about, okay, he's in the last year of his contract. Last year, he was injured and had both of his hips operated on. And in the course of the last 4 years, he's only made it through one full season. Do we say keep him for one more year, or do we let him go and save $8.5 million that we can roll over for next year? And these are things that are tough decisions that you have to make as far as your team. So for the Cowboys, currently we have 6 players that are making over $10 million. Of course, Dak Prescott, 31.2. D-Law, $21 million right there, 21.9. Zach Martin at $15 million. And then, of course, there's Tyron Smith, who's at $13 million. And you got Amari Cooper at 12. And then you got Zeke at 10. And after that, Tyrone Crawford's the next on the list at 9. That sounds sounds bad. Now, the problem for the Cowboys is, if we look at 2021, we're actually right at 175, which may be the new salary cap, which doesn't sound so bad, with the exception of Dak Prescott is not into that number. So if you end up paying him that $37 million as a franchise tag, well, then you got problems because then you're going to have to do some things to be creative. Now, again, we may roll over $9 million. We might roll over $20 million, which helps. But there's things that they can do. They can restructure contracts. Like Zach Martin. You look and say, Zach Martin, he's going to be here for a couple more years. We could easily get $8 million out of Zach Martin's contract, basically converting some of that to guaranteed money, in which case, boom, guaranteed money, you spread it out over the life of the contract. You could get more from D-Law, but then, of course, that ties you in for more time. The thing about D-Law's contract, even though it's as big as it is, really, you have this year and next year, and you can walk away from it and say, you know what, we're done without having a lot of pain. If you restructure it, then, of course, you're going to extend that contract longer and possibly more pain later. But one of the ways you may look at it is, I'd rather go ahead and get that relief now, knowing that the television contract is going to come in later. So from the standpoint of, are the Cowboys screwed with this possible salary cap hit? They're really not. The Cowboys, believe it or not, are in actually pretty good position. And let me pull up one more thing here. Over the cap. Let me pull this up here. I should have already had this here. I apologize. When we look at cap space on here, and I know it's hard to see because it's so bright and stuff on here, we look at current cap space, excuse me, in the NFL. Where is it? Cowboys don't have as much cap space as some teams. For example, the Cleveland Browns have the most at $38 million. The Washington football team have 36. As you get down for our Cowboys, the Eagles actually look to be in great shape because they got $22 million, right? Cowboys, well, we're down here with $9 million. And so you would think, okay, well, this is going to be a problem for the Cowboys. It won't be for the Eagles. The Eagles got $22 million right now. They're in great shape. Now, they're going to probably roll a lot of that over because they're going to need to, because the Eagles actually, as we look at it, they've got that $22 million of space right there. See that 22.6 this year, right? And, you look at these numbers, you've got Carson Wentz at $22 million. At $18 million. You got Fletcher Cox at $22. You got Lane Johnson at $15. Alshon Jeffries at $15. And Zach Ertz at $12. And you look at that and say, wow, they only have 5 guys that are over $10 million. The Eagles are doing things the right way. Now, here's the thing that's kind of funny, because, I was talking about that payday loan. You don't ever want to get desperate enough that you got to go ahead and get one of those payday loans, because the interest rates on those things will kill you. They're designed that, they get you in and you never get that sucker paid off, and they are living off of that interest that you're paying them. And that's kind of how the Eagles have done things. Now, don't get me wrong. The Eagles, Howie Roseman, did some great things as far as getting a team together to finally win the Super Bowl. They went out. They signed a lot of players out there. They got them together. They signed the right players, because the Redskins always pay a lot of people and sign, the team in Washington, the Blanks, always sign a lot of players and spend a lot of money, but they never get the right ones actually that are effective. The Eagles actually did it in 2017, got the players they needed, made that run, but they're still continuing to live that way, and it's a payday loan. And it's a ticking bomb, because here's what you have to understand. Even though that currently, that they literally have $13 million of cap space right now this year than our Cowboys do. Let's take a look at 2021. Bam. All of a sudden, where they only had 5 players that were making over $10 million, they backloaded their contracts. Fletcher Cox, 22. Carson Wentz, 34.6. Lane Johnson, 16. Alshon Jeffries, 18. Zach Ertz, 12. Deshaun Jackson, 10. Brandon Brooks, 14. Jason, he's only 8. Brandon Grimes, 17. Malik Jackson, 13. Devarius Slay, 15. Derek Barnett, 10. Javon Hargrove, 15. So, let me say that again. We have 6 players scheduled next year to make over $10 million. The Eagles have, let's count it up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 players scheduled to make over $10 million. And currently, that's $269 million of cap spending. If the cap goes down to 275, you're talking about the Eagles being about $95 million in the red. Yeah. That means a whole lot of restructuring and a whole lot of people getting cut. The Eagles are going to have to gut the team or continue with the payday loan, paying only the minimum and kicking it down the road. Either way, it's doom and gloom for the Eagles. But then again, what do I know? I'm just a guy with a voodoo doll and a day job that walked 5.5 miles today. So I hope you guys are having a great day. I got a question for you. Question for you guys. We got a couple things that are coming up. I've ordered, speaking of the Eagles, I've ordered our Get Philly beer glasses. Okay, so I'm getting those put on my website and things like that. Yeah, those are going to be fun. Those are going to be fun. And I'm telling you, they're 16 ounces. Do not use them for a shot glass. I know some of you out there will use it for a shot glass. It's not a shot glass. It's a beer glass. Now, I was sitting here thinking, because just in case we don't have a season, and since we don't have preseason, we need to get into, as YouTubers, we need to get into regular season form as well. And what I was thinking about doing, and I want to see what you guys think about this, is going old school. You know, I have some pieces that I'm really, really proud of. You hear that? This is actually an alarm clock. It was my dad's from 1983. I was in high school. And as crazy as it sounds, let's see if we can get a channel here.
It's time to review. Anyway, to cut to the gist, see dealer for details.
It still works. This is crazy because
wash your hands with soap and hot water for
this
at least
still
20 seconds.
Yeah,
and
wash your
always
hands.
wash
Look
before
at
you touch your face, eat, or drink. Use hand sanitizers. Limit sharing of eating utensils. Social distancing and avoid physical contact.
This is what's
Sneeze or cough inside of your elbow. Avoid contact.
It's crazy that this thing still works. But see, back in the day, the football games always weren't on, and a lot of times we had to go do stuff. And so we actually used to listen to football games on that radio sometimes. You know, and as much as I hate the Washington football team, Sonny, Sam, and Frank Herzog, Sonny, of course, Jurgensen, and Frank, oh God, I can't remember him, but shoot, it was Sonny, Sam, and Frank for the Washington football team. And listening to the games where you didn't see it, you actually had to just listen to it. And so I was thinking about trying to go old school and to watch one of these vintage Cowboy games and do a live stream and just we listen to it. We listen to it and we talk about it and do it as a live stream. So let me know if you guys are interested in doing something like that, because it'd be actually kind of cool to watch, you know, like say the Hail Mary game, or, you know, like one of those vintage, or say, how about the Dallas Cowboys first Super Bowl, Cowboys versus the Miami Dolphins. You know, we watch one of those vintage games and basically you listen to it. It'll be different, but I'd like to know what you guys think about that idea. So I'm going to go out here. I'm going to go out here and do some things, and I've got to come back and do some more work in my workshop and stuff, so maybe we'll do a little live stream a little later while I'm working in the workshop. But as always, I love bringing bad news for the Eagles to you guys. I'm Mark Holmes, and I'll see you soon.